Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mech Lab, where we try to be a better mech commander every day. Today we're talking about battle value and how to manipulate the system in order to win more games. Battle value is calculated on two different metrics, defensive and offensive. We'll start with defensive. So your defensive battle value is mostly based on your armor. For every point of armor that you have, you're going to pay 2.5 times that amount in battle value. So this Phoenix Hawk, for example, would pay 304 battle value for its armor. Your internal structure, on the other hand, is a little bit cheaper. It's multiplied by 1.5 times the amount. Now, both of these are affected by the type of armor, the type of internal structure, and for internal structure specifically, it also is based on the type of engine that you have. There are a few things that will give you a discount as well. Any explosive ammo that is not protected by case will get a 15 battle value discount per critical slot that it takes up. Non-explosive ammo for the discount doesn't count. Gauss weaponry also gets a discount based on how many critical slots they take up. It's 1 point per critical slot if you have case in the location, or 2 points per critical slot if it doesn't have case. Movement affects your offensive and defensive battle values. For defensive, it applies a modifier to your defensive battle value based on your target movement modifier. So this Phoenix Hawk or the Crab would have a 1.3 times modifier onto its defensive battle value, whereas the Penetrator here would only have a 1.2 times modifier. But your offensive battle value is also affected by your movement. There's a chart for it. So basically what you do is you take your maximum movement speed, including mask, supercharger, or triple strength Myomer, and you add that to half your jumping distance. And then you plug that number into a chart, and it gives you a percentage that you multiply your offensive battle value by. Essentially, a max movement of 4 gives you a 12% discount. A max movement of 5, you pay neutral value for everything, and anything over that is about 12% per point of extra movement on top of that. So that's why units like, say, the Griffin pay so much battle value. It's because their defensive and offensive battle values are both being multiplied by their movement profile. It's also why something like the Awesome is so points efficient, because its max movement is 5, it's not getting an extra tax on any of those 3 PPCs, despite the fact that it's really big and heavy and has lots of armor, because your defensive battle value is actually also affected by the weight of the mech. But again, there's a chart for that. It's kind of built in, and typically taking a bigger mech is usually going to be worth the cost. There's a few other things that will affect your offensive battle value. Artemis FCS on your missile launchers will increase their battle value cost by a whopping 20%. So I don't think that Artemis gives a 20% damage boost, so I don't think that it's particularly worth it to take Artemis. I'm not saying there's no mechs with Artemis that are good. Certainly there are some, but generally it's less efficient to have Artemis than to just have your regular old missile launchers. Any mech with a targeting computer adds a 25% increase to any weapons linked to it. So while I do think that targeting computers are excellent, you do pay a premium for that to hit bonus. Alright, now it's time for two of the most important tips that I have. Firstly, rear-mounted weapons all get a flat 50% discount just for being rear-mounted. This isn't amazing, but when rear-mounted weapons come into play, they can be really effective. They'll always be a secondary target and take a modifier to hit, unless you have no other targets, but it can be really great on like a melee brawler or something like that that really wants to get in and mix it up. Weapons that exceed your heat capacity get a 50% discount on BV as well. Now, there's a specific calculation for this. It is 6 plus your capacity minus your maximum heat generated by movement. So for example, here we have the Penetrator. We add 6 plus 24, it's 30, minus 4 from the jumping distance means that 36 is the magic number for us. Once we reach 36 heat, we will immediately get a 50% discount on all other weapons equipped on the mech. So as you can see, it will always count the more expensive weapons first. So the 2 ER large lasers here are being counted first for their heat contribution and their battle value, and then we add 1 more medium pulse laser onto here, that's 36. Bam! We now have 50% battle value reduction on all of the rest of the medium pulse lasers. That is a huge discount in savings, which means that bracket firing mechs that use all of their heat capacity are extremely effective. Now, the Penetrator does pay a little bit of battle value premium for that 464 movement profile, but I can definitely confirm that jump plus pulse lasers equals win. There's a reason why in my MRC review video, it's usually discouraged by either cheese points or is actually hard banned from tournaments. So you can look at the battle value of these two different penetrator variants. They're both really, really similar, except that one is set up so that it can fire basically all of its weapons at once, whereas the other one either fires the ER large lasers or the medium pulse lasers. Now, it is going to pick up some heat if it jumps and fires the lasers, or if it runs and fires the lasers, but that's kind of the price that you pay. You know, it's a trade-off. Maybe you would be better off with one less medium pulse laser and just one regular medium laser instead, and an extra heat sink. It would be a little bit more expensive on the battle value, but then you could run and fire the ER large lasers without overheating. But overall, this mech is far more efficient than this mech. It has more armor, it has more pulse lasers, meaning that it can just absolutely rip a light mech in half at close range, and it still has the same movement profile and the same firepower at long range. And we can see something similar over here with the Phoenix Hawk and the Crab. The Crab is really oversynced, right? It only produces 28 heat, 30 heat when running, and it has 32 heat sinks. So it could stand to drop a couple of those heat sinks pretty easily. I'm just pulling up the Thunderbolt 10 SE here, just to sort of show you an example of a mech that is ridiculously overcosted on battle value because of all of the crap that it tries to jam into itself. So this thing has mask and a targeting computer, meaning that it is paying a battle value premium on all of the ER medium lasers and the ER PPC. It does get a discount on 2 of these ER medium lasers because it only has 24 syncing, but at 4.5 it costs over 2,000 battle value. This thing costs almost 50% more than a penetrator. It could be argued that the penetrator is actually effectively more mobile than the Thunderbolt and has better firepower at all ranges. Now, of course, the Thunderbolt is capable of getting that 3 TMM with the mask, but it can only do that every other turn without risking having its legs snap off, essentially. Just to go back to engines really quick, I have an Archer here, and you can see it's got that lovely inefficient Artemis. It's got the case, which makes it safe, but it's a little bit less battle value efficient, obviously. But we can see that with a standard engine, we're at 1654 battle value. Light engine, we're down to 1528, so about 100 points savings. You can see the XL gives a significantly smaller discount overall compared to having the light engine in there. I think light engines on the IS side are probably the best. I mean, if you're a clanner, you're probably always taking a Clan XL engine. It's kind of a no-brainer to do that. So I've just slotted in a couple of extra weapons in order to fill up the extra tonnage, and you can see that the Archer is now over where it was previously for battle value. So you will get more weapons, you will get more armor, but you'll end up paying more battle value on the same unit, and you do sacrifice a little bit of durability. So I hope that helps everyone. Just trying to condense the sort of bulky rules of determining battle value of a mech. I hope that this helps you maybe have a bit of a better understanding of why mechs cost what they do. If you have any suggestions for anyone in the community, any corrections to anything that I've said, please leave them in a comment down below. Always appreciate any feedback. Please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and check out some more of my other Battletech videos.